So what do we do when we hear about this, the Equifax breach, the WannaCry ransomware, NotPetya, the hacking of the presidential election? What do we do? What's our reaction? We turn the volume down, right? We breach fatigue. We've heard it all so much, so many times. We're tired of hearing it. We think, this isn't going to happen to me, or it's out of my control anyway. What can I do about it? Or this is somebody else's problem. And you see, that's exactly how I thought until Special Agent Brad Wymura showed up on my doorstep. I was pretty certain I knew what he was doing there. He was delivering good news from something unfortunate that had happened a couple of months before. And standing there, I went back into that memory. The four of us had just moved into our little dream home and must have thrown out unshredded copies of mortgage documents in the process. A dumpster diving cybercriminal harvested my social security number out of those papers and sold them on Ross Ulbricht's dark web. In my case, a woman, get this, a woman, Rosemary Serrano, purchased my stolen identity off of the internet and used it to buy her very first home cross-country in Boca Raton, Florida. When she could no longer make the payment, she drained our bank accounts, defaulted on that loan, and declared bankruptcy using my social security number. So that's where I am in that memory when I reemerge back onto the foggy Hoyt House doorstep, waiting for Agent Wymura to tell me that the good news, to tell me that they've captured Rosemary, they've recovered our funds, they've solved our false bankruptcy, they've put her behind bars, waiting for him to shift my reality. And he did, by handing me a subpoena and telling me I was going to jail. In a voice so calm it was menacing, he told me that I was about to be charged with the theft of $298,000 that I had stolen from my software customers. Told me the DA's office had digital proof that I had electronically embezzled funds out of my customer accounts and into that credit card account. Told me they had evidence that I had spent the funds on trips to Laguna Beach and online pornography. Said almost without a pulse that they had enough digital DNA to put me in jail for a decade. Everything about who I was that identified me had been redefined by cybercrime. I'd failed my business, I'd failed Mary, and I failed my girls. A trifecta of imperfection. What will it take for you to wake up? For me, it was more than data, it was more than money, it was raw emotion that finally woke me up and reminded me that I am becoming a victim, a permanent victim of the information economy. Knowledge alone, our knowledge, your employees' and members' awareness alone about these crimes does not create enough change. But our emotions do. Our personal connection to how this is relevant in our lives, in our organizations, in your credit unions. If you want true security, it's about resilience. It's how you bounce back. Every one of you faces something like I have. Every one of you has a story, a loss. Every one of your organizations will go through something like this from a breach perspective. Maybe not as bad, maybe worse. It's not just how you bounce back. It's how you use it to move forward. And I gotta tell you, that distinction between sitting here and knowing it and walking out that door today when you're done and acting on it and doing something, that distinction is so very important.